Welcome to Caroline's Library, where we dive into the world of manga, anime, and more. Today we are talking about witches, magic, and mysteries with none other than Witch Hat Atelier. We've got forbidden spells, intriguing secrets, high stakes, and so much more. So let's get into it with a quick high-level summary of Chapter 1. Coco is a young, naive girl with an obsession for magic. So when a real-life witch named Kefri shows up at her mother's workshop and offers up his services to fix a broken carriage, Coco's dreams come true because she finally gets to witness the moment a spell is cast. Well, at least that's what she thought was going to happen, because just as suddenly as her dreams come true, they are crushed when Kefri requests complete privacy in the workshop in order to cast the spell. But her curiosity gets the better of her because she knows of a way to sneak into the building to observe this witch in action, where she is shocked to discover that spells are not said, but drawn. Fast forward to that night, Coco sees her chance to test out this newfound knowledge and attempts to draw her own spells. But there are consequences for haphazardly using magic when she accidentally casts a forbidden spell that petrifies her home and her mom. Luckily for Coco, as the spell is backfiring, Kefri swoops in to save her, bringing her back to his atelier where she's offered a choice. Either become an apprentice to learn how to be a witch, or have her memories wiped, because no one is allowed to discover the secret of being a witch. Desperate to keep her memories and discover a way to reverse the spell on her mom, Coco chooses to become a witch, and with that, her dreams come true in the worst way imaginable. So, with that high-level summary behind us, let's talk about what makes this manga a must-read, starting with the amazing world-building details. As Coco is introduced to the equally charming and terrifying world of magic, she has a bit of a rough start with Kefri's other apprentices. Because of Coco's encounter with a forbidden spell, gossip spreads quickly, and she's made a bad first impression. Because like I said earlier, if anyone messes around with forbidden spells, that person either loses their privilege of being a witch by having their memories wiped, or they are branded a brimmed cap witch, meaning they are a part of a mysterious group of witches who reject the rules by actively using forbidden magic. So why is Coco given the unique opportunity to become a witch? Well, to answer that, let's back it up a bit to Coco's childhood. When Coco was a little girl, she attended a festival with her mom where she bought a picture book about magic from an odd witch. Fast forward to the fateful night of the forbidden spell, she used that book to trace the pattern of a spell onto a piece of paper, where we realize that this book is seemingly full of forbidden spells. And this is quite fascinating to Kefri because, for some reason, he has a particular interest in finding the brim cap witches. And because of Coco's interaction with that odd witch in this mysterious book, Kefri sees the perfect opportunity to protect Coco and keep her by his side. She might just be the key to his search. With that, we join Coco on her journey and discover that the world of witches is intricate and complex, full of mysteries, dangers, restrictions, hierarchies, and schemes. And as Coco works to find a way to save her mom, we are introduced to more and more complications that add to this web of intrigue, as well as those who seek to challenge the status quo of the rules and restrictions placed on magic. Speaking of which, we meet a variety of unique and well-developed characters who have their own backstories, challenges, and character arcs. First, there are Kefri's other apprentices, including Agathe, Riche, and Tetia, who are all justifiably hesitant about Coco's sudden apprenticeship. Coco is inexperienced, uneducated, and ill-informed, and in the world of magic, that is dangerous. Plus, Coco's experience is far from what the other girls had to go through in order to become an apprentice, each having to prove themselves with years of education and training. But Coco is creative, determined, resourceful, and skilled in her own way, and as the other apprentices get to know Coco, it leads to a truly well-written relationship development between this group of girls. We also meet Orugio, one of my personal favorites, who lives at Kefri's atelier and is a brilliant inventor of magical objects. He has a gruff, antisocial way about him, but beneath that grumpy exterior is a loyal and caring guy who wants the best for Kefri and his apprentices. And then there are a variety of other friends, allies, and adversaries who add depth to the story, like Tarta, an assistant at the magical supply shop, Belderut, one of the three wise witches known as the Wise in Teachings, and a mysterious brimmed cap witch who takes any opportunity to observe Coco from the shadows. And all of these plot layers and characters are brought together with truly phenomenal art. The mangaka really went above and beyond with their attention to detail. There are some frame-worthy panels in this series. So we've got amazing world building, intriguing mysteries, interesting characters, and incredible art, but there are some small issues I have with this series. First, for a seinen manga, this is a pretty gentle story. Don't expect many brutal, gory scenes or high-intensity moments. It's more of a thought-provoking series that dives into ethical and sociological questions, where people are persecuted just because they have opposing philosophies about magic. For me, I love the themes that this story incorporates, but it can also make the pacing feel a bit sluggish at times, and the plot can feel like it loses its momentum. Second, there are also a couple of plot armor issues with the story, and I think they could have been better executed. For example, the Knights Morales are essentially the police of the witch world, who are in charge of punishing witches who violate the rules. And they're supposed to be these rigid hardasses who don't compromise. But they don't seem to have much of a sense of urgency to hunt down the Brimcap witches, and they fail to hold Coco and Kifri accountable for their mistakes. Coco for her forbidden spell, and Kifri for accidentally letting Coco see how spells are cast. So for all of their talk, they kind of suck at their jobs when it's related to our main characters. At least for me, that made me dismiss the Knights Morales as all bark and no bite, so the stakes were instantly lowered. But without this plot armor, the story wouldn't have happened, so you sort of just gotta accept it and move on. All things considered, Witch Hat Atelier is a fantastic, beautiful story with detailed world building, plenty of secrets, unique characters, and incredible art. If you're hoping for a more action-focused manga, this will probably not deliver. But with this series, you trade action for deep, philosophical themes that are thought-provoking, making you wonder who are the real villains in this story. As for the anime, it's currently in its first season, and so far it seems to be a pretty great adaptation. Now, it's up to you if you want to spoil the anime by reading the manga first. Thanks for popping on to watch this review, and until next time, happy reading!